Hello everyone. I'm so sorry that we can't be together at the moment. I'm really missing you, but I thought I would take this chance to read you a story, and I hope that you're able to get onto the website and see all the activities that Mrs. Little and I are putting up for you, and hopefully we're going to have the chance to read you a few stories, and we'll try and get those up every week. So the story that I chose today is about a bear and a little rabbit, and the bear is getting ready to go into hibernation. And do you remember we talked about how animals change and adapt when the weather changes and starts to become colder and we go into the winter season? And we talked about how some animals might hibernate because and go for a long sleep, and some animals might migrate and travel to a warmer country or a warmer place. And we also talked about how some animals might adapt, so they might grow longer fur to get their winter coat, or they might change the types of food that they eat. And we said that humans adapt when the weather changes because we start wearing our coats, don't we, and our scarves. And we might change the things that we eat, so we might have more hot chocolates in the winter, whereas we'd have more ice cream in the summer. So this story is about a bear that's getting ready for the winter months and is getting ready to go for a long sleep and hibernate. It's called Brave Betsy and the Bear. Little Betsy fell out of her girl's pocket in the woods one autumn afternoon. Thump! Help! She cried, but her girl didn't hear. Betsy looked around. The trees were so tall. The woods were so quiet. I'm lost and all alone, she trembled, but I must try to find my way home. So she set off, singing a brave song. Betsy had not gone far when she heard a growl. A big brown bear stepped out from the trees. Betsy hid behind her ears. Are you lost, little one? Asked the bear gently. Yes, said Betsy. I have to find my house. It has a blue door. Well, I was on the way to my cave, said the bear. It's time for my long winter sleep, but climb onto my back and I'll take you home first. They began to tramp through the woods, but soon Bear yawned. I'm so very tired. But don't let me rest or I'll fall asleep and I shan't wake up until spring. So Betsy sang him one of her most bouncy, wide-awake songs. And when Bear's eyelids grew heavy, Betsy sang a marching song and drummed with her heels to keep him awake. And when Bear sat down for a snooze, Betsy gave a loud tarantara until he carried on. At last, Betsy saw her house with the blue door. Thank you for bringing me home, she said. Bear smiled sleepily. Goodbye, my friend, and good night. And he shuffled wearily back to the woods to find his cave. There's her house. That night, Betsy sat on a windowsill, thinking of her friend. Did Bear reach his cave, or did he fall asleep on the way? There was no one to sing and keep him awake, she thought sadly. And outside, snow began to fall, thick and fast. By morning, icicles hung at the window. If Bear has fallen asleep on the way to his cave, he'll freeze under the snow, thought Betsy. I must try to find him. So, taking a ball of wool from the knitting basket, she lifted the latch and climbed out of the window. Then she tied the end of the wall to the garden gate and she set off, singing a hopeful song. Betsy searched every snowdrift, but she couldn't find Bear. On and on she went until the wall came to an end. She tied it to a loose thread of her jumper and carried on. "Bear, Bear, are you there?" she sang, but no one answered. Her jumper grew shorter and shorter. At last it unravelled completely. Tired and shivering with cold, Betsy could go on no further. And just then she heard a loud snore. And there was Bear, fast asleep, with his head in his paws. And Betsy shook him. "Wake up," she cried, and she sang with all her heart, but Bear didn't stir. "He'll freeze unless I help him," she thought. So she brushed the snow from Bear's coat and tugged some bracken across his back. But the wind blew it off and fresh snowflakes fell. Betsy hugged Bear's neck, but she had no warmth to give. Then suddenly, Betsy heard a rustling and a scratching. Out of the trees peeped the creatures of the wood. "We heard you singing, little rabbit," they said. "We're Bear's friends too. We can help him together." The beavers built a shelter of wood, and the foxes fetched bracken, and the squirrels brought moss for a blanket. Look, they're starting to build him a sort of little cave. And soon Bear was warm again. Look, there he is. All snug. "Goodbye, my friend. Good night," said Betsy. And then she followed the wall all the way home and climbed back into her girl's cosy bed. As she drifted off to sleep, Betsy thought of Bear under his mossy blanket in the snow and hoped he would keep warm all winter long. On the first morning of spring, Betsy ran to find Bear, singing her sunniest waking song. "Hello, little one," said the bear. "Why, somebody made me such a cosy bed. That was the best winter sleep I ever had." And Betsy hugged him tight and smiled happily to herself. And in the woods all around, Bear's friends smiled too. The end. So Bear went for his long winter sleep, which is called hibernation, and but luckily Betsy was able to make sure he was nice and snuggly, otherwise he would have got very, very cold and he probably wouldn't have stayed asleep like he needed to. So I hope you liked listening to the story, and it will be really lovely if you want to send me any messages or anything like that. Your mums and dads can contact me on our email, which I'm going to put up on our website, so that you can send me an email if you want to. You can send me any photos of any work that you've done, and it would just be really nice to hear from you.